Coach Deborah has a passion and purpose to assist young men, ages 15 to 24, to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. She wants to see every young man live out their potential. She has a master's degree in human services counseling, with a major in life coaching. More importantly, she is the mother of 3 boys, who are exceptional, educated, professional men. Coach Deborah believes it is better to train early, rather than need to fix later. She utilizes basic principles and God-led concepts. Sometimes the only thing a young man has is their credibility or their name. The actions they take are based on the decisions they make. Those decisions align with their choices and result in consequences. Coach Deborah can assist you if you are lost, floundering, or confused. Embrace the help and start building your best life today.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Build Your Best Life. I'm Coach Deborah, and you know this year is all about Blueprint for Success. Good evening, Elder Tanya. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes. Well, everybody, you know that this year we're talking about Blueprint for Success, because that blueprint is so important as you strive to build your best life. I want to thank each and every one of you for everything that you do for Build Your Best Life, for your prayers, your likes, your comments, your shares. Without those, we may not be here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so much. I see Shonda is here. Welcome, Shonda and Dan, Deacon Holmes. Thank you all for tuning in today. I think we have a great topic. For March, our theme is a blueprint for ethical living, a blueprint for ethical living. Now, before we get into our topic, I want to give Elder Tanya an opportunity to tell everyone all about herself. This is her first time on Build Your Best Life, so I'm excited. So I hope she's excited as well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, Coach Deborah. And in better terms, Ma Deborah, I always call her. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Tanya Pressley. I'm an elder at St. Paul Missionary Baptist Church under the leadership of Bishop Johnny Guns. So I'm the oldest of two children. My mother, who has passed away in 2021, Abigail Haskins. I am a daughter of her, and I dedicate this time to her because she raised me as a single mother of two girls. So everything that I try to definitely honor in everything I do. So I have two boys, two beautiful, handsome young men, Black men, and I'm very fortunate that God chose me to be able to raise them. My oldest, Isaiah, he is a freshman at Valdosta State University in Valdosta, Georgia. So that's where half my money is going now. My youngest, Jeremiah, he is a sophomore at John Reebok High School here in Jacksonville, Florida. So I have two generations of sons, one, raising in college, and one, on his way to doing whatever God, desires for him to do. My call to preach in 1999, and then I was ordained as an elder in 2009. Basically, I worked for the city of Jacksonville, and very honored to be there for 20 years, working on 20 years, and just being a mother and everything else I need to do. That's what that's who Tanya is.
That's awesome. And for those of you who know Tanya, she is like, I talk about mothers with sons here on the platform. And Tanya has been married twice, but in between those times, she has been single mom. She's single, a widow, single mom right now, but she puts her boys first and foremost. And so we want to make sure that we encourage our single mothers to let them know that, God doesn't make mistakes. And so he will undergird them and help them and send people, men in their lives to also assist with that. So great job, Tanya. Great job.
Thank you, Mom.
All right. Our topic for today is my bad. My bad. And, communication is one of the most vital aspects of camaraderie and understanding. Having the ability to communicate effectively gives employees, educators, friends, spouses, and parents a cutting edge in interacting and being able to fully engage with others. But you have to know how to fully communicate. Communicating is not just talking. So that's the big key right there. Fully communicating. So Tanya, can you think of an example of a time when you communicated with one of your sons and you were not fully communicating and you had to go back and apologize and say, oh, my bad, because you misunderstood the whole conversation. You took it the wrong way.
Yeah, so my youngest, Jeremiah, that's my quiet child. So anybody gives him any fun, he gets his allowance, he's going to hoard onto those funds. So I try to communicate with him. If he wants to order anything off of Amazon, talk to mommy first. Let's see what you have in your account or what you have in your wallet, and then we can order it, whatever. This particular time, he just ordered stuff. And so I was declining it because he hadn't came to talk to me about it. And then the last time he was like, you keep canceling my order, Mom. And I said, have you come and communicated with me? And so conversation went on and on and on. And he, he started getting upset. So he went and got his money out the wallet and threw it at me, trying to say, here it is. But then, of course, the mom in me started to rise up, and I stood up and I said, and he said, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, Mom. You're not listening to me. And that was the one thing that I had to sit down and just kind of say, my bad. What was the thing? He said, you didn't tell me that if I didn't have it, if I had it in my wallet to come tell you, you didn't explain it to me. That I had it in my wallet, then I can come and show you, and then you can order it off my account. You just kept saying, don't use my debit card. Don't use my debit card. Don't use my debit card. So I end up, with his communication style, I had to tell him I had to go back and say, my bad as a mother. This is what this means about communicating when you want to order something off of Amazon. And after the conversation was held, then we both had the understanding of, I understood him, understood me, and we haven't had that problem anymore. So is it bad to say my bad? No, it's not. It's a grown-up moment for me, and it's a grown-up moment for my son.
Yep. Awesome. And so, I mean, that made you probably shine in his viewpoint, because there are a lot of people that will never admit, hey, I was wrong. I didn't understand. They just, will go on and on and on. So, again, kudos. Thank you so much for, taking that time to communicate with him. Yes. So, Maria, I see you there. We can avoid conflict among peers and parents and others in our lives if we just take the time to ensure that we articulate what needs to be said to avoid confusion and unnecessary problems. And sometimes, you in a hurry, or you get angry and you say something and it's not clear, but then you get upset if things don't go how you expected them to go, but you were the one who didn't really communicate clearly sometimes. So what practical tools have you established to communicate with your sons to ensure they fully and clearly understand your intended messages?
So it's a very good question. Because I'm raising two different generations of sons. One of my sons is a millennial, and then the other one is a Gen X. I believe Gen X or Gen Y. I had to actually understand what both of those generations look for and when they communicate. My oldest son, Isaiah, is the millennial, and I had to understand how millennials communicate in order for me to be able to communicate with him so that he'll understand. Both of my sons they have educational needs that, sometimes I have to explain it a little more differently for them to understand. So all those variables I had to be able to identify so that I can be able to communicate with both of them in two different generations, regardless of whatever educational needs they have, and be effective as a mother. It's hard. It was a little because I had to get out of myself in order to be able to effectively communicate with both of them. So the practical tools is learn your children, learn your sons, learn, what they go into each and every day. Of course, both of my sons were in predominantly African American schools. Their entire elementary, high school, middle school. So they're used to different people, different things, and trying to help them to understand that you have to be able to learn your children and whatever needs beyond that, be able to effectively. So you have to get out of yourself in order to learn your children first. So that's the first thing. The second thing is get out of yourself as a mother. Things are different. I honestly had to explain to my sons, more my oldest one, my youngest one, and he's starting to get into how I was raised and how to raise them based on how I was raised, but didn't figure it out that I can't raise them the same way that I was raised with this day and time. So get out of yourself. Just be honest with just say, hey, we got to be able to raise our children differently these days. So I had to get out of Tanya in order to be able to raise or do those things for Isaiah and Jeremiah. They're number one in my life, as you said before, and I had to make sure I'm effective in that communication. The third thing is, honestly, we're going to make mistakes as parents, and be able to learn from your mistakes and do better do the second, third, fourth, fifth time. So learn from your mistakes and do better the next time. That's basically, those three things are the things that I can give to help people to communicate better with your sons.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, it's not as always easy. Some people think no big deal, but you just like you have to work at a marriage, you have to work at being a parent. Sometimes we don't know, because in my family we didn't have any males; it was all females. My oldest son was the first male, so I had no example. The only thing I had was what my mom told me. And that's how I raised him, which wasn't a good thing. And that was the yelling and trying to make him afraid of me and stuff like that. And that wasn't good, but I had no example. So, like you say, you have to get out of your own self, get out of your way. Because I was like in the way because I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah, me neither. So just like your family, our family, my generation of our cousins, we the ones that had the boys, so everybody else had girls. So when our generation came, we started having boys. This was a whole new thing for our whole family. So we're like, how to raise a boy, basically.
Yep. That's right. It's very good.
Yes.
So if you have just joined us, our topic is my bad, and we're talking about communicating and how parents, as Tanya was mentioning, the different generations. Back in the day, if you told your child, you could be wrong as I'll get out, and you told your child do this, they did this. So that was Tanya, that was me. That's what we did, whatever they said. Yeah. These generations now, the last 3 or 4, they go by what they see. So you have to set that example. You have got to be that role model.
Yes.
So all of that is in that communication. So sometimes you find out that you have to say, oh, my bad, because as parents, we're going to make mistakes, as Tanya said about, we're not perfect. We're going to make mistakes. You got to learn from those mistakes, but you got to admit to them, I apologize. I was wrong.
Yeah, I agree. And I honestly, before my mom passed away, I was able to have a conversation. Of course, a lot of these conversations were with Isaiah and my mom, just having my mom explain to Isaiah how I was raised. And so, like you said, mom said it, you do it without any questions. And so had to understand how Isaiah was going to ask me, especially when he got in middle school. When he asked me the first time, almost blew my top, because I was like, hey, you don't question what mommy said, just do it. But it don't work like that now.
Yep. All right. Shonda says, been there and done that and had to apologize. Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Okay. Exactly.
Yes. Great conversation. So no matter who a person is, what their credentials are, their educational level, they will not be effective at communicating if they don't have the necessary skills or the information. Because, like, I don't know if it's every generation or every year, but the slangs change and the different words. And when I first started, I was like, okay, Chris, what do I need to say? He said, Mom, just talk like you talk, because if you say that word, you're not going to sound right saying it. Like,
Right.
okay, all right, fine. But you want to try to communicate on their level, understand where they're coming from. So we have to do little different things. So, what tips would you give young men about listening to or communicating better with their parents? This is a two-way street.
So again, love the question. And first thing I would say is understand how parents were raised. Understand how your parents were raised and the things that how they were raised. They were trying to either fix it in raising you, or they just replicated that. I said before, all I knew was do it as I say, not as what I do. So I had to understand, I wanted Isaiah to understand. I wanted Jeremiah to understand how I was raised and how I was trying to raise them beyond that. So understand how your parents were raised first, and then you will understand some of the things they'll tell you no to, some of the things they'll say, I don't know, let me think about it. Or, like one example, spend the night over a couple people's house that the parents don't know. Point blank period. No, if I don't meet them, you're not even going over there to stay for a cup of coffee, basically. No, you're not doing that. But that, that's how I was raised. You just don't go over everybody's house that your parents don't know. So number one, just understand how your parents were raised, and then you will understand some of the things they communicate to you, or they even say no to. And then you will understand, okay, this is how mom was raised. So then let me explain to her how, things are today. So that communication can come in, that you can explain both ways. The son and the parents can be able to talk because they'll understand each other. 2, be able to have a full conversation with your parents. What do I mean by full conversation? Do not talk to your parents like you would your friends on the corner. Have a full conversation with your parents. I have to explain to both my sons that I'm not your friend, so I don't understand when you're half talking or half giving me stuff. I need you to explain it to mommy. So have a full conversation with me so that I can understand where you're coming from, and then we can meet halfway. I can't do like you said, the slangs. I have to ask them, what does this mean before I even don't text me that, your mom don't know. Just have a full conversation with me. Tell me, and then once you tell me, then I'm like, okay, I remember. That's what he said this means. Something like so. Have a full conversation with your parents. If we can, we'll be able to communicate the way you communicate with your friends, but it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for this mom. Just have a full conversation with me. The last thing, ask your parents, and respectfully, what has God said to you about me? One thing I can always remember, my mom always told me that she did not want me to be raised the same way that she was. She wanted me to be able to live out whatever I wanted to live out. I was able to understand especially when you asked me about this, I was able to understand today what that meant, what my mom said that years ago. So I asked my mom, what do you see? What has God told you about me when she became really, when she was saved and really in church? What has God said to you about me? I wanted to honestly ask her that because I wanted to understand what God said to her. And I communicate that constantly with my two boys. I let them know always your name, Isaiah and Jeremiah, just wasn't by happen chance. It wasn't a popular name in the book, and I just chose those things. God told me to name you this because this is what God said that you're going to do, because, and this is why I'm able, the things that I say yes to, the things I say no to, is because this is what God said to me about you. You're able to, once the sons understand that, then you're able to meet in the middle and be able to communicate what God has said to them, because we never know these days, the children are hearing from God, and we have to understand that God has told them some things about their self.
Right. Now, those are good. Those are good. So, yeah, I know I always throw this out sometimes, but I hope y'all had y'all paper and pens tonight, because these are been some good tips, good tips, good tips. And I missed this comment up here. I wanted to go back. Yvonne said, thankful that by God's grace, He has given parents the blueprint for success in raising children then and now.
And now, yeah,
Amen. That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
But these are, this is a great, great conversation. Thank you so much for these tips. I love it.
Yes, you know what, honestly, and even the last one, when I said ask your parents respectfully, because sometimes you're just, I put that in there and laugh, but children need to understand. I always want my sons to understand, when I go to the throne of grace with God, in my quiet time, I'm always asking God, what do I need to say to my sons? How do I encourage them? How do I do this? So I want my sons to understand that when I go to prayer, I'm bringing them with me after I talk to God about myself. So this is what God has said to me about you. What has God said to you about yourself? And then we can meet halfway and have those conversations. And basically, I understand when Isaiah came home for spring break this week, he was so excited, and he was like, Mom, the church, the Christian group in my school, we are studying this. So we were able to be in my room on my bed talking about him doing that. And that has been my always, that the God that I serve, my sons will be able to grasp that, and he is grasping that. And I'm literally, and he was like, Mom, why are you crying? I said, you don't understand, man. I was raised, even when teaching in the children's ministry, you said, raise up a child in the way they should go, they won't depart. And that's the first scripture that came to my mind.
Wow.
I raised them to do that, now that, and then we can talk about it. Then I can go back to say, okay, what are our goals for this semester? Things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because, it's just always so amazing. We got so many mothers on here.
Yeah.
You talk to your kids, and, you kind of, your kids, but there's sometimes expression they have on their faces, and you tell them good stuff, but you never know, is it going in one ear and out the other? Yeah. Is it sinking in? But then when you see them do certain things, it's like, wow, they were really listening.
They were really listening. I couldn't help it. I was just crying. He was like, Mom, why are you crying now? But, it's just honestly, because I want my sons to be able to build their best lives. And I want to be able to participate in that.
Yeah. I know, that's good. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's right, Shonda. That's right. Yeah. And I don't know if it was Bishop on one of the prayer calls. I want to say that he was saying, even when your kids are grown, it's still that same thing. I still pray for them. It take us a long time to pray in the morning, because I be sending up some timber, and it's specific, do this. I want this and this and this and this and this and this and this. But it doesn't change. It doesn't change.
Yeah, does not. It just makes you cry. It honestly just fills your heart with joy when they finally catch it, and all the things that I've sacrificed, all the things that we've been through as a family of three. In between, like you said, I have been widowed twice, from their natural father and then my second husband. All the things that us three have been through. Right. To hear that one thing, Mommy, this is what we're studying. I'm so excited. I really understand, man. You don't understand. It just honestly overjoyed my heart, because I know, whatever God's building in me and what He said about my sons is catching on.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Awesome. Also, answered prayers.
Yes.
Awesome. So as we prepare to close, can you please give our mothers with sons helpful tips? And this is for all the mothers, but helpful tips on effectively communicating as they partner, that word partner with their sons, assisting them in building their best lives.
Yes. I think the number one thing, Ma, you just said it, partner with your sons. Our sons will be fathers one day. And I honestly had to, although they're my babies, Isaiah and Jeremiah will be forever my babies, they're going to be fathers one day. And I had to understand that I have to raise them, partner with them, so that they're able to communicate with their family in the future of, this is what I learned, this is how we're going to run, because he's going to be a head of a household one day. Isaiah's going to be, Jeremiah's going to be a head of a household one day. And I cannot raise them beyond being that. Partner with your children. It's okay. It's honestly okay. It's okay to let them be able to express, what they're looking for, their goals in the future. It's okay. Partner with your sons. Partner with them. To be the mother that God has, and continuously, I think what I've learned since the beginning of the year, because I've been reinventing Tanya and learning how to love Tanya again. When I learned how to be Tanya again, I can understand how to raise my boys and hear them, because I hear myself now. I'm not operating out of a strange place. So have your relationship with God. If that's, honestly, have your relationship with God. Make that priority, so God be able to navigate you through this parenting thing, because that's how I have made it. Isaiah's 20 years, I have made it because I have had my relationship with God has grown since before he was born, and is growing each and every day. So have a relationship with God. Have a relationship with God, so that he can download the things for his children, because we're all his children, and our sons are his children as well. So have that relationship with God. And the last thing, honestly, enjoy your sons. They're very peculiar. They're very peculiar. Have fun with my boy. I have fun with them. I have learned how to play Mario Kart. I have learned how to play Mortal Kombat and be spanking them on the video game. But have fun with your sons. Enjoy them. I had to learn, and they don't want me to play Mortal Kombat with them now, because, I'm always winning, and they don't understand. We play this all the time, but you come and play it. But enjoy your sons. Enjoy them. God gave them to you, and he chose you to be their mother. So enjoy your sons. And honestly, it is worthwhile once you see what they become. and I know it's a plenty mothers out there that their sons now are fathers, and you see the difference of what you've done in their lives, and you're enjoying that because you got to enjoy your sons. So enjoy your sons. They're the best thing since sliced bread. Even though I wanted a girl, but I enjoy my boys.
You sound like me. I wanted one so bad. When I had my first one, that was before the sonograms and stuff. So I had all girl clothes. But baby, I wouldn't trade them for nothing in the world. Ooh, I love me some boys.
Yeah. Because I'm the loudest one at the football field. I'm the loudest one at the golf course. Because Jeremiah plays golf. I'm the loudest, I'm cheering them on, wrestling, all that. Yeah. I've learned how to enjoy my boys, definitely.
Yeah. All our mothers are important, and the things that they teach. Yes. Sister Whitfield is on here, and when you look at her and you look at her girls, it's like, oh my goodness, they are such ladies, just perfect little ladies. And you're like, yeah. So you want those young men. That's why it's so hard on young men. Like you're saying, they got to have a family. They got to be able to take care of their families. So those young ladies, she has, crafted them and showed them how to be that lady. You want them to get the right young man that knows how to treat them like they have been raised, because they have been raised like respectful young ladies. So I love it. All my mothers out there. But this has been an awesome conversation. Yes. Thank you so much. I don't know what has taken me so long. I was sitting the other day like, I haven't had a second. I'm going to ask Elder Tanya.
I was like, of course, that's my Deborah, whatever she wants. Look, you have been with me since I was like 14, 15. And I thank God for even your influence in my life. And I appreciate you so much. And honestly, you see me through a lot, and I thank you for being who you are in my life. So yes, you deserve that Ma title. And I will forever call you that.
Well, thank you. And thank you for everyone that tuned in. If you did not hear this entire broadcast, you will have to go back and listen to the entire thing, because this has been a great topic. My bad. And not only with our children, but we need to do that in all our relationships. It is, sometimes you fall out with your friends, or you want to know why they act a different way. Well, you did something or said something and you were wrong, but you never wanted to go back and admit, my bad, I misunderstood, or I didn't, I apologize, or whatever. They're just words. And if they come from your heart, there's nothing belittling about them. So why can't you say, my bad? I apologize. I say you're supposed to say I'm sorry, but you say I apologize.
Yeah. I had to do it to my supervisor one time. I just bit the bullet, and I was like, I didn't understand. And our relationship became a little better when I admitted it, that I was wrong. So it does work.
Yes. It's awesome. And great evening, Elder Levette, Dr. Levette. You're on. Yeah, make sure you catch up with the replay. It was awesome. Tell Tony I said hello. I know she's studying. All right. Well, I hope everyone will join us on Thursday. It's time for Coffee Chat again. And our topic is unreliability. Just think about that, unreliability. How many people negatively influence your life because they're not reliable? So that's what we're going to be talking about on Thursday. So please join us 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you go on my website, www.buildyourbestlife.org, you can read the blog that comes out each Monday. You check out the calendar of events. I've already started planning our 4 major events. I'm so excited. May will be here before you know it. So that Mothers with Sons seminar will be coming soon. So just check that out. And again, thank you so much for tuning in. And as you know, this year, Build Your Best Life is declaring Jeremiah 29:11 over your lives. And if you tune in all the time, you know what to put in the chat. You know what to put in the chat before I tell you now. God wants what? He wants you to have the plans that he has for you, which is what? Prosperity. Prosperity. So put prosperity in the chat. And he also wants you to have the future that you hope for.
Amen.
So what do you need to do? You need to design your blueprint based on the plans that God has for you, and then follow it so that you can build your best life.
Yes.
And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. It's our commitment. I love you. Be blessed. Stay safe. I'll be looking for some of you on Thursday. Dr. Levette, make sure you check out that replay. I love you all. Thank you so much, Tanya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.